What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I want to give you guys a quick market update as Bitcoin has gotten somewhat of a bounce from our key level that we looked at on yesterday's market update, where I said I would be looking for longs in the premium Discord. We indeed were looking for those longs. We took it, and it is now in profit. So I want to talk about this little bounce that we're seeing. We are starting to play around with some very, very key levels. So I want to talk about some of those key levels that we must remain above if we want to see a continuation to the upside. We'll take a look at Market Cypher B, and I'll give you guys my overall thoughts on the market. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. So guys, here we are on the Bitcoin chart, and as you can see here, we are getting a bounce from the key level that we were looking at on yesterday's market update. So shout out to anybody who saw that video. But as we were getting a little dump to the downside, I was talking about how I was not getting overly bearish as we were approaching somewhat of a key level of local support, and this would be an area where we were going to be looking for long positions in the premium Discord. We indeed were looking for that. We got the bullish confirmations. We went ahead and we fired on that trade, and that position is now well in profit, giving us a nice little 3.24% bounce. And here is that trade up about $1,300. I got $250 locked in. My stop loss is at about break even, and we still have about $1,000 in unrealized profit. So not too bad for a little day trade there. However, guys, we are playing around with a very key level of support / resistance here, and I want to talk about that with you guys and kind of give you my idea of what I'm looking at here moving forward. Now, obviously, guys, the market has been absolutely chopped up like crazy here. This is an absolute garbage trading environment. Very, very difficult trading in my opinion. And you could just see we had a ton of just kind of chop. We got little bounces up, rejected the POC, got back above the POC, got back down below it. We've kind of just been clinging to this key level, being the macro POC in the middle of the range here. Just really, really not great trading environment. But we were very, very patient in the premium Discord, just simply waiting to get that drop down to that 786. It's actually a setup we've been looking at for quite some time. We finally got price to come in there, and we went ahead and fired on the trade. And it just goes to show, even in a garbage trading environment, guys, sometimes knowing when not to take a trade is just as important as knowing when to take one. So there's a lot of patience in here, just waiting for this to kind of work itself out, give us that drop down to the 786, and then we finally get a little bit of a bounce here, able to come in there and extract those profits regardless of the trading environment. But as we look here, guys, obviously we still have our macro overall range where we have the value area low still sitting below us, which is still not tapped just yet at about $92,000. If we do get a harsh rejection here, I'm going to talk about those key levels of resistance in just a minute. But just to understand this, if we do wind up getting another drop to the downside, we are going to be looking at that next key level down here at about $92,000. Now, things do get a little bit sticky here because we have a lot of liquidity sitting below, so we're really going to have to find some real strong entry confirmations to be looking for longs down here, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I just want to update you guys and just let you know we are still looking at this same exact macro range. I am looking at this as a scalp long until proven otherwise. I'm going to be taking profits along the way. If it winds up playing out to a bigger move, and we get that rip up to about 102 to 103K up towards our macro value area high, that's totally fine with me. I'll just be trailing my stop loss up along the way. But I do want to break down some of these lower time frame levels with you guys because this is really what I'm looking at as far as context. You guys can see as we drop down to that 786, this was also a deviation below our value area low. Anytime we get these drops down below the volume profile, this is typically where we're going to be looking for long positions. And again, this was very, very choppy trading. We kind of front ran the value area high here, so keep that in mind. But we got that drop down below the low, and then we wound up getting those confirmations on a key level of support. We also mentioned that we had a lot of shorts entering at the low here. So we have a lot of shorts opening up here at the low, which could add liquidity above. So if we do get that bounce to the upside, those shorts could wind up getting stopped out, giving us a little squeeze to the upside, which did give me the idea that if we were able to get a little push to the upside, we could squeeze some of those shorts, looking for that move up to about $95,950. Where we had our value area low / golden pocket 786 retracement, and that has played out absolutely beautifully. We got that push up into this level, and now we are starting to play around inside of this range once again. And I want to talk about some of these key levels, guys, because we are playing with fire right now. And I will just say, key level number one, there are two major levels that I'm looking at here. Number one, we have this anchored VWAP pulled from the high here at about 98,840. And this has been extremely strong resistance up until this point. Every time we approach this level, we just put in lower highs and continue to the downside. And we are now, once again, as you can see, playing around with this level to the dollar, right? Now, this is a very, very key level. This level sits at about $96,000. I would say between $96,000 and $95,000 is going to be the real key levels that we want to hold on to, because that anchored VWAP comes in at 96K, and then we have some key Fibonacci levels sitting down here at about 95,000. So I don't mind temporarily playing around underneath this volume profile, but really at the end of the day, guys, this value area low at 95,676, this is really what we want to stay on top of, right? If we can stay inside here, flip that anchored VWAP to support finally, that's where we could continue up to the POC, which we just barely front ran earlier today. But if we can remain inside this range, guys, we could look for that move into the POC, flip that POC, and then potentially look for the larger move up into the value area high, where we also have a lot of liquidity sitting above at about $98,850. And we know liquidity does like to act as a magnet for price. So if we are able to hold inside this range, guys, and flip this POC, I would hope that we could get a move into that value area high. And if we get above here, I will be looking at the possibility of getting those liquidations taken, not only for more profits on our long, but another opportunity to potentially look for some scalp shorts to the downside. So these are the key levels to look at. We must get above this anchored VWAP, guys, and this has been brutal resistance up until now. So that $96,000 level is going to be absolutely key to get above. Now, if we take a look at Market Cipher B, as you guys know, Market Cipher B has been a little chopped up. When you have these choppy trading environments, guys, the indicators are going to, kind of move up and down. They're going to be a little bit harder to read, but I will say this, our best bet right now is that for the move to the upside is the fact that we have this green dot on our 16-hour with our 1-hour money flow crossing over into the green. Typically, when we see this happen, that's that Market Cipher B 116 strategy, and oftentimes, if you could keep this money flow in the green, you could look for that continuation of the trend overall to continue to the upside, right? And that's going to be kind of the bullish case here, in my opinion. We also have our daily green dot that looks like it wants to print. You can see that VWAP is looking to cross that zero line and give us a green dot. If we do get that, we will technically have a daily bullish divergence with lower lows on our price action into a key level of support with higher lows on our momentum waves. Now, I do want to give a little caution here, guys. Although we do have these setups on Market Cipher B, overall, our higher time frame money flow, remember money flow indicates the longer term trend, 16-hour money flow still in the red here, daily money flow still in the red here. So until I am proven otherwise, guys, I am still going to be looking for shorts on the way back to the upside, because if this money flow stays in the red, the higher probability situation is that we are more likely to get some kind of a lackluster push to the upside to put some lower highs in and continue back to lower prices. Now, it's really hard to make that big call right now, so I am just playing this level to level and obviously looking for those scalps in the Discord. We can make money whether price is bing bong and sideways, going up or going down. But to call these bigger moves is really, really difficult at this point. So I just wanted to show you guys these local levels that we must get above. That $96,000 anchored VWAP is absolutely key. If we cannot reclaim that and we wind up losing this value area low, this is where we could potentially see that much bigger drop to the downside, potentially targeting that $92,000 value area low. We're sitting right down here at the bottom of our range. Now, if this does happen, guys, the signal I'm looking at is this 4-hour red dot. You can see the VWAP is rolling over. If we get this red dot to print, and if we're going to break down and we're going to get that red dot to print, I think this is probably going to be the thing that is going to give us that bigger move to the downside to potentially put in a lower low. So if that happens, we get that red dot, we get the bigger drop to the downside, I'm going to be looking at this as a key level. And remember, we were looking at this key level yesterday and we got the bounce. So make sure you have this marked off on your charts. $92,048 is the next key level of support. And if that 4-hour red dot brings us down, that is probably going to be the biggest level that I am looking at. So hopefully we can hold this level, guys, and see this long continue to play out. Now, I am still hedged here with my short position over on Blowfin, guys. 600 locked in, still up $2,100. I am going to continue to hold this. I may move my stop loss a little deeper into profit here just to lock in some extra gains in case we do wind up continuing to the upside. So I am hedged. I'm in the long position. Stop loss to entry. I'm in this short position in profit. Stop loss to entry. Profits locked in. So I'm in a little bit of a cushy position with the Discord here. Short from 102, long from that 786. So we'll see what happens here. Either way price goes, we're going to wind up making some money. But I will say, watch those signals that we just looked at, and hopefully we don't get rejected by that anchored VWAP again. Because if we do, I'm probably going to be looking down towards that $92,000 level. So guys, with all that being said, that's all I got for today's quick market update. Keep your fingers crossed for Bitcoin and hope that 4-hour red dot doesn't dump us back down to 92K. Hopefully we can just hold above this value area low, send this thing up to the local range high, and go grab that upper liquidity. But we'll see what happens, and I'll keep you guys updated along the way. Turn on notification bell so you don't miss these updates, guys. And shout out to anyone who saw yesterday's update, looking at that 786 as a key level where we just bounced from. And that's all the time I got for today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out.
Go at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it